Here we go. Podcast.
Ooh.
I even got the dog. I even got the dog back in there. I gotta mess with the levels on that. I just finished that 5 minutes before we started recording.
Tasty, dude. Nice.
Shout out to my boy Logan for playing the drums.
Shout out to Logan on the new little intro opener there. That was spicy.
Yes, we play music together, and recently our bassist.
Wait, that was music?
I don't know what that was meant to imply, that you just don't know what music is, or you're saying that it was so bad that it shouldn't even be considered music.
Nephew's choice.
Yeah, we'll let the audience decide. That's awesome.
Oh, sorry, dude. So that was your band? That was the boys?
Yeah, our bassist just kind of quietly quit on us.
He
just kind of like took his gear and joined another band, and we haven't heard from him at all. So we've just been recording shit. And I was like, hey, let's throw down a new theme, because Logan went a little crazy with recording material. He got like everything. So I guess if anyone in Portland needs a studio,
hit up the King's email address.
Yeah, that'll be our side venture. Maybe we start recording episodes from there. Who knows? With a live band. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. You could lay down tracks with Dadley Bradley. Hell yeah.
Dadley and the Bradley with a new theme song. I'm turning off my Wi-Fi. Yeah, I was going for like a surf rocky vibe, but it was kind of more of like it kind of sounded like lounge music a little.
Yeah.
But, trying something new.
As soon as I heard it, I was like, damn, this is totally Brad style for sure. As soon as I could hear it.
Slick Bradley style. We're back for another episode. We haven't recorded in a minute.
Yeah, dude.
It's the holidays. We're busy. Nephews
so busy, dude.
Nephews will know that we haven't been releasing episodes very frequently either, but we're getting back on the horse
because of the whole wildfires thing. That's why we're using that as an excuse.
Yeah, neither of us live in LA, but that really slowed us down.
That did. No, dude, I was pretty busy last week. Rachel traveled internationally, so I was single dadding it for 8 days.
Oh, single baby with the baby Hank. Dude. How'd that go? Did you guys get any shenanigans?
No shenanigans. A little bit of tomfoolery and such.
That's good.
But no, dude, it was pretty good. It was pretty smooth sailing. We've got a lot of family and help around, so it was nice to have. But yeah,
that's a plus. That's a plus.
Hands were full. Yeah, so we've been busy. Sorry, nephews, but we're back.
Hey, we're back, and we're here to talk about episode 6 of season 3, Peggy's Pageant Fever.
Peggy's Pageant Fever.
This was a weird episode, dude.
This was a weird episode.
It was weird. I don't know how I feel about it. I am excited to get into it because I'm having a hard time making a decision on this one. I'm hoping talking it through will help. But before we do that, should we do our opening segment of the show?
Absolutely, dude.
You want to see what was happening? This week in Arlen, the segment of the show where we look at what was happening in the world at the time of this episode's airing. This episode, season 3, episode 6, aired on November 10th, 1998. And we always like to kick it off with what, Chris?
This week.
No.
In Arlen.
A peek at the TV guide. Anything standing out? Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh, that's what this is. I noticed NYPD Blue is on our screen now up at the top on
Yes.
ABC.
Little propaganda for you.
Little propaganda. We're going to talk about propaganda a smidge later in the recap. I got some propaganda for you. I just remember that show like had a grip on my parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Kind of
love that shit.
like a Law and Order, like an ER.
Procedural
Yeah.
cop show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great title, episode title though. That's what drew me over to it. Was Numb and Number. Who let me
Uh,
tell them? Like, what were they trying
is
to
it supposed to
do?
be like number or number?
Numb and
Huh?
Number. Oh, ooh. Um, yeah, no, it's like what cop show is doing a Dumb and Dumber take.
Yeah, that's pretty
Interesting.
great. I
There's
immediately noticed America's Greatest Pets
oh
on right after Clueless.
wow. Why such a
Yeah.
low rating for America's Greatest Pets?
I think that's viewership.
Okay, okay.
I don't think that's based on like amount of people who watched. I think
Got it.
that's like the amount of people who tuned in. Which
Okay.
in which case this movie Mama Flora's Family Part 2 had 12.5. Is that million? Is that million people?
I would guess,
12.5
yeah.
million?
I guess so.
Just Shoot Me's doing well then in that case.
I love that episode title as well. Two girls for every boy. That's very encouraging.
Yeah, Moesha had a I Know What You Did in the Third Grade up against King of the Hill here.
That's
Tuesdays aren't really gripping me
Tuesdays aren't
this
gripping me.
season.
Tuesdays aren't gripping me.
Yeah.
I love I'm curious to know, really curious to know what's going on right after King of the Hill to get us world records. The Living Skeleton.
Yeah, I looked it up. I couldn't find anything about it. I did try. I couldn't find anything. If I find
Uh,
anything before I edit this episode, I'll put it in here, but I'm feeling feeling like a lot of those episodes of that show are just kind of lost
yeah.
in the void.
I prefer
Uh
the other night.
yeah, yeah, me too, but I'm still looking back. I'm still looking back at the rest of the week,
Hmm.
and we did get a new episode of The Simpsons this week.
Okay.
And it was kind of a duty episode.
Duty.
Um, it's essentially like Homer becomes friends with Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger,
Mhm.
and then he's just kind of like friends with famous people for some reason, and then
Interesting.
he like overstays his welcome with them, and it's
Hmm.
just like such a forgettable episode of The
Interesting.
Simpsons. Yeah.
They were like, we got Alec Baldwin this week. Let's build something around that.
Yeah, it was basically the point of the show where it's just like let's have a guest star every episode
Hmm.
just to fill things out. But we did have not a new episode of SNL this week. On
Mm.
Saturday, we had a Best of Dana Carvey
Oh, love
airing.
Dana
And
Carvey.
I remember I had this on DVD when I was like in
Oh,
high school and college and I would watch
yeah.
it all the
Yeah.
time.
We had several of the best of DVDs in
Yeah.
our house as well. We had the best of Sandler. We had the best of
Yeah.
Farrell.
I've
I
got
don't know if we had
Sandler
the
and
best of
Farley on
Carvey.
VHS
Yeah.
right here on the shelf.
Hell
And
yeah.
I put them on like pretty frequently. But yeah, Carvey had some great characters. Church
Carvey's
Lady,
hilarious. Yeah.
yeah,
Pepper
good
Boy.
shit. Pepper Boy,
You like it, Pepper?
Chop and Broccoli. That
Yeah.
was a big one. But keeping in the SNL vein, there wasn't a lot on TV this week, but we did have a pretty big number one film. And
Yes,
that
let's
is
go.
a Bobby Boucher.
The Water Boy.
We had the Water Boy, starring Adam Sandler and Henry Winkler.
I freaking love the Water Boy. It fights with Billy Madison for my number one, Adam Sandler.
Oh,
I
Waterboy's
think
up
I've
there,
talked
huh?
with yeah.
Not Happy Gilmore. It's not.
It's early Sandler. I like Happy Gilmore. It's just not fighting for my top spot.
Yeah.
It's much earlier Sandler. Oh, yeah, Waterboy's so good.
This was peak Sandler. Basically, Billy Madison to like Big Daddy was peak Sandler. I like Big Daddy.
Yeah.
That's up there for me. I don't know if I'd say it's like
Yeah.
top two.
And Sandler
But
might be peaking again
currently,
with
I
Uncut Gems. You know, his career.
Uncut Gems was great. His stand up special, the Certified Fresh one from a few years ago, was I actually like go back and re-listen to that pretty
Oh, it's
frequently.
really good. I haven't listened to it.
His new stand up special was directed by one of the Safdie brothers, and it's really weird. It's like semi-scripted. There's like a story going on through the stand-up
Oh.
special.
I don't
It's
know how I feel
cool.
about
It's
that.
it's
Okay.
cool. It's definitely not as good as his last one. But yeah, he's definitely doing some cool shit. He's still releasing stinker movies on a
Yeah.
pretty frequent basis, but
You want to do
make
some
that money,
Waterboy?
Salmon.
You want to do some Waterboy quotes here, real quick? Just fire them off real quick before we move on.
Shampoo is better.
Nope, not
I'm
Waterboy.
I'm playing golf. Oh, Bob Barker, you crazy guy.
Very good.
Oh, I got a magic remote that can stop time in the real world.
My favorite one, just a couple of my favorite, alligators is so honored because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
Yeah, that's good.
Vicky Valancourt showed me her boobies and I like that too.
Put on your yarmulke. Here comes Hanukkah.
Another very good one.
That's a good quote from the Water Boy. Yeah, well, this was number 1 in the country. Down at number 3, we had a new movie from Denzel Washington called The Siege, which was not well received. It's about terrorists attacking a bus in Brooklyn. And Denzel Washington, who's a CIA or a FBI anti-terrorism expert, teams up with Agent Elsie Craft to investigate. And then martial law is declared in New York City. It's like kind of an apocalyptic situation.
Okay, and Willie's in it, Bruce Willis.
Yes, William Bruce Williams is in it. He's a sadistic racist, apparently.
He's playing General William Devereaux.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
He
begins rounding up Arab Americans, of course.
Yep.
Nice. I've heard of this movie. I haven't seen it, so I don't think I can make a judge on it. I will say I like how close their ratings are on Rotten Tomatoes. 44 tomato, 53.
People liked it more than the critics, but not that much more. Yeah.
I like to see that it's evened out.
Yeah. Well, that kind of does it for movies here. Just kind of in music news, drifting over to the music realm. Rick James had a stroke this week.
Whoa.
Yeah, he had a blood vessel rupture, and they say that it was because
he was
rock and roll neck from whipping his head back and forth. I also learned that he just
rock and roll neck.
Yeah, I just learned that 6 months prior to this, he was released from prison for assaulting a woman.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Rick James is a wild guy.
Also in music news, fucking Eagle Eye Cherry was on SNL, and they did perform Save Tonight. By the break of dawn, come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone. So nice. I didn't see who was hosting this week, but these motherfuckers were the musical guest the week prior, not the Dana Carvey episode. But yeah, that song is a banger. And then they disappeared forever.
Great name for a band too.
Is it?
I think it's fun. It's very end of the 90s.
It's fun for sure. Yeah, they didn't stick around for very long. And not a lot of people remember them, but you know who is remembered is fucking Lauryn Hill. And the number 1 song in the country this week was That Thing, That Thing, That Thing. Banger. Great album. Definitely, I know we've talked about it because the album came out around this time as well, but 100% a top 10 hip-hop album of all time.
Man, that thing is such a good song.
It really is. It really is. And Lauryn Hill is great. Also seems like a bit of a wacko, but
I've heard that.
Yeah. But bless her heart, we love her.
Bless that thing.
Back into movie news, but more movie premiere news. Star Trek Insurrection had its premiere. So there was an insurrection this week.
Ooh. Oh.
And we are recording this a day before the inauguration.
What'd you say about an insurrection this week?
Yeah. But Patty Stew was here. I don't know this movie. I'm not a Star Trek guy, but
not a Trekkie.
Yeah, not a Trekkie. But they had a premiere, and it looks like they had a lovely time. So
big news. Yeah, looks fun.
I'm into it. Rounding it out with a little birthday news. It was Josh Peck's 12th birthday on this day.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So happy birthday. Also seems like kind of a dickhead. But happy birthday to Josh. I'm making a lot of enemies in this episode, huh?
I thought that was the other guy. I thought that was the dick.
Well, yeah, Drake had he had an inappropriate relationship with an underage girl.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's pretty dickish.
Yeah. But people have kind of like drifted back towards like sympathy towards him after that documentary about Dan Schneider because it came out that he was like, yeah, he was. I'm gonna have to bleep a lot of this if I talk about it. Yeah, he was a victim. That's good. Of SA. That's what they say on the internet. Yes. SA, which stands for Schmexual Schmalt. Yes. But that'll do it. No death for you on it this week. There were no notable deaths, unfortunately.
Just unfortunate Josh Peck talk.
Yeah. You want to crank out this episode?
Yeah, I'm gonna start the mower up. Get the mower going for season 3, episode 6, Peggy's Pageant Fever. You all already heard that this aired on November 10th of 1998. Your directors for this one are Wes Archer and Trisha Garcia. We've talked about her in the past. She's big on the art side of things. Mm-hmm. And then your writers for this are Judge Daniels and Norm Hiscock. We've talked about Norm a lot this season.
We've talked about his.
Mm-hmm. His and hers. So your blurb for this one is Peggy competes in a pageant exclusively for mothers in an attempt to win a truck of her own. Pretty straightforward about what's in the episode. That's pretty sufficient.
Is that the official blurb? Because it's incorrect.
That is, yeah. I would say I noticed the incorrect too.
It's not exclusive to mothers. Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I noticed that, but. I mean, that basically explains what's up in the episode. We'll get into it. But the first act is, I mean, you were mentioning before we came into it, this one's a little hard to place, but the first act is essentially Peggy is going to find out about a Miss Heimlich County pageant, and that's Miss MRS pageant for 23 and olders and
marrieds only.
Marrieds only. She thinks that she can win this. She's gonna recruit Luann for her efforts here in the first act, and then Hank is going to be how should we say mildly supportive.
I think he's as supportive as he can be. He's being realistic. That was something I was talking to friend of the show, former guest Moret, about as we were watching this episode. It's like I can't really tell if Hank is like, because he technically was supportive, but then also like, is he being supportive by being realistic? That's the big question that I came away with from this episode.
He finds a good solution in the end, and we'll get to it in the third act. But yeah, it's a little tough to place Hank this episode, but this is going to be a classic episode of Peggy's confidence, and Peggy's confidence is going to come up against some real world, we'll call it, real world barriers to her success.
Duct tape being one of them.
Yeah. Peggy learns about this competition from hanging out with Nancy in the kitchen. This episode kind of starts in the Gribble kitchen with Nancy.
Yeah, I had a note about that. It started so fast.
It did.
Like the first line of the episode is like, "Hey, a pageant. There's a pageant. I'm doing a pageant." And then it's like, and also you win a truck, and Peggy's like, "I want that truck." Like that's literally the first scene.
Yeah. The very first scene is the gals are gabbing about this truck, and Peggy kind of like initially scoffs, and she's like, "Do people even do that?" And Nancy is like, "I owe my success. I'm now in hundreds of television sets a night," which I thought was pretty funny. Yeah, because it's a town of like 14,000. There should be many thousand more households in Arlen. So
yeah, there's probably a better news station. The main thing that stood out to me in this opening shot was they're like showing family photos, and one of them is of a shirtless John Redcorn.
Yes,
it's just next to a picture of Nancy and Dale and Joseph.
Yes, I have that as well. Shirtless John Redcorn. It's so funny. Nancy says here you go, Shug, 2 Shugs. That's kind of fun. She's always saying Shug. Gives her the coffee with sugar. It's cute.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things from this first act is, or the beginning of this first act is, the Hills are in bed, and Peggy is reading this ad and talking to Hank about joining, and And she asks Hank, directly, do you think I can win? And you just see Hank is on his side, and you just see his eyes go wide. And he's
Yeah.
like, he says, now, Peggy, that's what you call a loaded question. No matter
Yeah.
which, he's like, no matter which way I answer, I've got two loaded barrels ready to blow my brains out or something like that. He's like
Yeah.
very graphic with it.
He
But
also says she's not his resolution is to just say she's not the pageant type, which I think
yes,
is actually good feedback for him to
yeah.
give because she isn't.
But she immediately doubles down on that and she's like, well, not the pageant type. Let's see the criteria. 23, 23, yep. Married, yep. Then she's like, she grades herself, which is very funny.
Yeah.
She gives herself an A minus for face, a B plus for body, an A plus for personality, and an A plus for brains.
And the funniest thing about this is shortly after when we get the scene of Hank talking to the guys about it, they're all like, "Ooh,"
Mm-hmm.
except for Bill, who's like, "Well, she has an A plus brain." He ranks her body higher than Peggy ranks her own.
Yes,
He says A plus, but if she put on one of those push up brassieres,
yes. So yeah, we almost immediately cut to just about over in the alley. Yeah, it's very funny that the boys are trying to be supportive, and Bill is just so horny for Peggy. There's going to be a couple of other scenes of people
maybe
people
my
being
favorite scene of the episode. Yeah, I liked
people
Bill
being
in this
horny.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah. I do
if
like that, like immediate, like basically what happens is like Peggy decides she's gonna do this. Hank is hesitant. All of the guys except Bill are hesitant, and then Peggy just goes to like test drive the truck
yes, yep, and
just
the
to like
guys.
make sure that it's worth it, I guess.
She's excited about it. Peggy, she's very gung ho. She's locked in. But this sales guy, yeah, he's like, they're test driving it, and he's like, "So what do I got to do to get you into this truck today?" And
He
she's like,
keeps
"Oh,
calling her pretty. He's like
mm-hmm.
hamming it up.
Yeah." And whenever she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to win it in a beauty pageant," the guy says, "Test drive over."
Yeah, test. And then we just go straight to the pageant. We get to meet Kathy Shears,
Yes. So
the
there's
reigning champion.
here. Oh, actually, but I did have one last line I wrote down in the bedroom scene that I really liked from Hank is Hank's trying to talk Peggy down, and she's like, "Well, the grand prize is a truck," and Hank's like, "I have a truck," and
Oh yeah,
Peggy's like, "I need a truck," and he's like, "You have a car," and she's like, "A car is fine, but a truck is a force," and Hank just goes, "Yes,
yeah, true.
true,
Yeah,
true." I just love that he was like, "I mean, it's a truck. You got to respect it. It's a force."
yeah, that's
But
true.
over at Pageant Orientation, there's a lot of guest stars in this episode.
Oh yeah.
Did you look into some of these guest stars?
No, I like to be surprised.
Okay, it's guest star corner with Chris nephews. Here, this clutch of pageant gals is going to be played by a nice group of ladies, and there's going to be two other guest stars later in the ep as well. But guesting here as the pageant ladies, we have got Mary Kay Place. Yep, she has got a primetime Emmy from 1977. She is a long-standing actress. She's got a lot of accolades. I did note that Mary Kay Place has a credit from Family Guy for playing farting lady.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Kathy Ireland is also.
That's a familiar name.
Yes. So Kathy Ireland was a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model for a very long time.
Ooh, okay.
In the 80s and 90s. Yeah, Kathy Ireland is a classic babe.
I don't know.
Say, from the 80s and 90s.
I don't know.
Well, you're Canadian.
Yeah, no.
You're colorblind.
She's a one. She's a one for sure.
Yes, one for sure. The binary. Don't forget, folks. Yeah, Kathy Ireland, which I think is funny because at the time she would have been topically like, oh, she's a supermodel. These are the pageant girls. And then also we have in this pageant clutch, my favorite here is Angela Kinsey.
From The Office. Damn.
From The Office, yes. And of
That's
course
cool.
we know, later on, of course, how much kind of crossover there is into The Office with, Toby and Mike Judge. Sorry, Greg
Well,
Daniels.
Greg Daniels, yeah.
Yeah. my bad. But I do believe this is one of Angela's earliest credits, at least on IMDb. It's
Nice.
at the top of her page is
Hell yeah.
some credits. I think she does a voice in one more episode this season, but yeah. Um, so Peggy shows up to pageant orientation very confident, and she's going to leave pageant orientation less confident.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, she just talks to the contestants and realizes how out of their league she is.
This one of the things that made feels a little bit rough about this episode is like the impliedness, I think, from the viewership and from some of the guys in the alley that maybe Peggy isn't quite as physically attractive.
Well, I think that's just a fact, right?
Agree to disagree. Have you seen her feet?
No.
Yay. Sick. But what I think is funny about this pageant orientation is that like the viewership is implying that like, we've drawn these women pretty attractive, but also their credentials are a lot more stacked than
Yeah, they're
Peggy's.
all very impressive people. Luann
Mm-hmm.
mentions that the previous winner, she was like, "Do you know that she plays the lap steel guitar and she only has like 8% body fat and it's all in her
That's on
boobs?"
her boobs. Yeah.
I loved that. I love how
Yeah.
excited Luann was to be there.
Well, this first gal that Peggy talks to, Peggy's like, I'm a substitute teacher, and this gal's like, I teach full time at the high school. Peggy's at the middle school. This gal's at the high school. This gal has been to Spain many times, and Peggy says that she has not been
Yeah,
to Spain
she
because
chooses not to.
That was really good. So
She
yeah,
also
this
doesn't know what an engineer is. She's like, "That's where I met my husband, the engineer." And she's like the person who drives trains.
the kind that drives trains.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another mom there that has 7 kids.
Yeah,
Um,
Peggy lies and says she has 8
but yeah,
for
she
some
just
reason.
yeah. But she does have she has one up on the last person that she talks to. She's talking to like a gal in the skimpiest dress, and
Yeah, a
Peggy
23-year-old.
23-year-old Peggy finds out that this woman does not have kids, and Peggy immediately is like, good luck, bye. So Peggy thinks she's got one up on this other lady just because she doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
kids. So very funny scene there. And that kind of rounds out the first act, is her just finding out about the pageant and getting into it, and then maybe realizing that it's going to be a challenge. So the second act is really where stuff starts to boil up a little bit more. In the second act, Peggy is going to recruit Strickland onto the team, which is very funny. The stress really at the end of second act is really going to start to get to Peggy. The pressure is going to start to crack, and then the second act ends with a nice glow up. Um, I feel like second act is maybe where, I don't know, like more of the meat is for this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's just kind of like a lot of short scenes
Mm-hmm.
that are just like Peggy interacting with someone, and the entire point of the scene being like, "Hey, Peggy, you don't belong. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is not you." Like when she's
Yeah.
talking with Bobby, and he's for some reason just looking at baby photos of himself,
Yes.
and he's like, "Who is that? Like hugging dad?" And she's like, "That was me." And he's like, "You're beautiful." Or
Yeah.
you used to be beautiful,
Or
and she's like, "Well, I am now too."
mhm.
And then
He just
Peggy
says,
just
okay.
reminds him of a night terror that he used to have about a
Yes.
roadrunner pecking out his eyes.
He sees a photo of him. This was one of my favorites of this
Yeah.
scene. He sees a photo of him next to the world's largest roadrunner, and she's like, are you still having those nightmares? This really reminded me of a couple episodes ago where Peggy has the girlfriend, and Peggy is just like shit, or Bobby
Oh
has the
yeah,
girlfriend. Peggy's just shitting on him.
yeah. It's really just like showing her. That's another thing I was talking to Moret about. Is like she's so narcissistic, but she's also so obviously self conscious and like
Mm-hmm.
insecure. Like Bobby says that thing that like cuts her, and then she's immediately like, "Let me just bring up this thing that used to traumatize you." And when they did that, I was immediately like, I thought to myself, if they don't bring that back as a
Mm-hmm.
callback, and they immediately do,
They
because
immediately bring
we
it
just
back.
cut to them in bed. Peggy can't sleep, and then like like you hear Bobby screaming from the other room, like, "Not my eyes!"
Yeah,
So funny.
it's a very good immediate callback. But yeah, Peggy, she kind of gets down on herself and has a moment of doubt. in this scene in the beginning of the second act, she's in bed at night and she's like looking at some white stretch pants at Megalomart, and she's like, if I order by 8, they can be here by noon, and I can have these stretch pants on by 1 p.m. So she's like kind of given up, and Hank is gonna try to like half-assedly cheer her up.
Oh, that's later. That's actually later on. That
he sucks at cheering her up.
No, this is where she like asks Hank if like he thinks that she'll turn into one of those women that doesn't tuck in their shirt and wears stretchy pants. And Hank says, not for a long, long time.
Not for many years.
And she's like, so you've thought about it. And then we hear Bobby waking up screaming. It's nice. Yeah. Later on, when she like kind of realizes she's fucked is when she tries to
get
the stretchy pants.
Big part of the second act is the introduction of Buck.
I loved this.
Yeah, this is very funny. Luann and Peggy go to see Buck and ask him for some money for the beauty pageant, and Buck immediately is horny for Luann.
Yeah, he immediately thinks that it's for Luann. He's like, who's this little filly? Mm-hmm. He's all of their attention.
Yep. Her hair has grown back by this episode.
Yeah.
So it only took her 6 episodes to grow full head of hair back.
We don't know how much time has passed.
Yeah, it's not worth thinking about it. I just thought they were going to draw it out more. Like I wish that would have lasted more of this season was her hair growth, but it's like back already. So I did notice that, but yeah, once Strickland realizes that the money is for Peggy, he like tries to cancel the check, but it's already been written.
Maybe my favorite line in the entire episode came from someone we don't even see.
The secretary.
Yeah, he's like, he asks how much it's going to be. Peggy goes through all of the costs, like the new tennis outfit and the dresses and everything.
$2,000. She wants $2,000.
They say $2,000, and Buck immediately like hits his little intercom thing and says like, Debbie, write me a check for $2,000, and she just goes, like she just like screams it.
Yeah,
and then he realizes that it's for Peggy and not Luann, but the check has already been written. And yes. I guess he just feels so uncomfortable. I loved that. Now he's Buck just on the horn for $2,000.
I loved Buck all the rest of this episode because normally we see Buck and he's being a dirty, greasy piece of shit. And
which he is.
He's greasy in this first part, but he's not greasy the rest of the episode, which I liked.
He is a little.
Yeah, he's always greasy, but we're at the dress rehearsal for the pageant, and they're doing like a number in their tennis outfits.
And Spice Girls is playing. Wannabe, which is like a new song.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about Spice Girls a lot last season.
I was going to say that would have been just last season.
Yeah.
Sick burn by this director. He's like, terrific girls. Mrs. Hill, that was awful.
Yeah. And then he tells her to sit out and watch him. And he's like, hold my cane for me. Like you can do this if you're essentially crippled.
Yes. I did notice that Maurice Lamarche was credited on this episode.
That had to have been him.
I think that was him. Peggy is going to try to bribe Nancy in this scene, kind of, sort of. She's going to try to sway Nancy's vote, and she kind of gets shut down by Nancy because Peggy comes in essentially talking shit on Nancy.
She's acting holier than thou. She thinks that women that just care about their looks are like beneath her, which is so funny because like all of these women are so much smarter than she is too, and like so much more successful. And
I think that's one of the things that makes this episode so uncomfortable is it's Peggy coming up against reality. Yeah, kind of. And
this is really like the heaviest they've gone with the like Peggy thinks she's hot shit, but she is really just the most ordinary average person on the planet.
Yeah.
They nailed it.
Yeah. A couple of other funny things in this second act. We get a nice appearance from Min.
Hey, bozo.
Peggy decides to let Luann put some streaks in her hair, and
that was a 2-part class, and she missed both parts.
Yeah, she missed both parts of highlights. So Peggy's got some bad highlights, and she walks out of the house, and Min sees her, and yeah,
It was an excellent cut from like Luann saying that to Peggy then having the highlights and it looking like shit and Luann just kind of
hmm
looking like
hmm
nervous. And
yeah,
the first thing that happens when Peggy steps outside is she just gets absolutely roasted by man.
yeah. She's
Hey
like
bozo, where's your clown car? You look
Ronald
like
McDonald.
Ronald McDonald, you bozo Peggy Hill. And then Peggy just like completely ignores her, gets in the car and drives away and she's like, she ignored me. That's so rude.
She's so stuck up.
That
She
was
didn't even
like,
say hello.
why was she so mean?
I forgot about that joke until I just came back to
Really
it on my
funny. You
paper.
look like Ronald McDonald, you bozo Peggy Hill. She looks bad.
It was
She
so
looks
good.
bad.
That
Yeah.
might have been my favorite joke of the whole episode,
Yeah.
dude.
And we
That's
immediately cut there. Like, we don't see where Peggy is going.
no.
We cut to Hank at Strickland, and he's looking at like a flyer that Peggy's in, and she looks
Yeah,
awful. And this was
Buck is
also
like
one of my favorite
Buck is like
interactions.
she could have at least smiled.
And Hank is like, she is smiling.
She is smiling. So
Like, they're really just hammering in the fact that like Peggy is not meant
yeah.
for this. She is an ordinary average person of average intelligence, looks like
Oh,
just everything.
so funny. Yeah, you're right.
And
Then
that's when she's ordering the stretch pants. Yeah.
yeah, that's when she's
She's given
walking in
up.
defeat.
After all it took was Min calling her a bozo and saying she looked like Ronald McDonald.
So funny. Um, they are going to try to bribe at the end of the second act here. They're going to try to bribe Nancy with some brownies.
Yeah, it's
Hank
the
is going
only
to make a
Dale we
delivery.
get.
It's the only Dale we get. Dale tries to extort Hank for like a lawn tool or something like
His
that.
ratchet set.
His ratchet set. He wants to keep it. Yells and runs
Yeah.
away. Very
Hank
funny.
offers to let him borrow it, and he's like, keep it. And Hank's like, I'll kick your ass. He runs away and he drops the brownies on the ground.
Yeah, very funny. But then the end of the second act here is going to be a little shocking because at the end of the second act, Luann is going to be replaced as
Yeah.
Peggy's stylist and hairdresser, and that's where our last or one of our last guest stars for the ep is going to come in. This is the new hairdresser is going to be played by an actress named Carol Alt, who mostly did European films.
Oh, wait.
Wait, um, or more. But yeah, um, she asks the stylist, like, "Can you save this?" She's just
Yeah,
like,
she says this will be my greatest challenge
yeah.
yet.
Luann is kind of confused though. She comes in and she's like, "I think you're styling the wrong contestant. It's okay. I did that yesterday."
Yeah, you're teasing the wrong woman's hair.
Yeah. hmm But Peggy's very rude about firing Luann. She calls her an amateur.
Yeah, and says that this is a professional beauty talent or beauty pageant, and Luann's like, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
It's literally an amateur one. Like
Yeah.
Luann is even coming across as smarter than Peggy
Yeah.
in this
And
episode.
Peggy is like, "See, that's the amateur mindset." But yeah, um, we end this act here with hot Peggy coming into the house.
That's not the word that I would use, but you know,
Hot Peggy, Lady
you do
Bird
you,
barking.
baby.
I'm about to bust.
The third act is really mostly just going to be the pageant kind of unraveling here. Peggy is really now she's kind of bought all the way into.
She's transformed. She looks complete. She looks insane.
She is physically transformed, and she has also transformed, I think, in her emotional and mental states as well. She's been shaken. Normally, she's
Yeah.
hella confident. Her confidence has been shaken. She doesn't think she's quite as intelligent. So yeah, she's struggling. She's going through it, and she's lashing
Yeah.
out.
And she looks weird.
She does look pretty weird. Bill is going to catch a glimpse of her though, and just absolutely like,
Yeah, he comes himself.
yeah, it's funny. We get like a fun long cut of him washing a car.
Yeah, and singing "Taking Care of Business." That was
Yeah.
one of my favorite parts too.
Yeah, it's like he's doing it for like 13 seconds. Like he's doing it for a while before we see Peggy. And I was like, this is kind of fun.
Yeah, excellent delivery.
Yeah,
Just like from a voice acting standpoint. I feel like he's really figuring out what's the name of the guy who plays Bill again? Stephen Root.
Stephen Root. Yes.
Yeah. He's really like figuring out Bill's voice
Yeah.
this season.
Um, I did. Speaking of Peggy looking weird, there's a funny little note here because backstage, and this goes to my point of like Buck actually kind of being not so greasy. We get a scene opens up with Peggy saying to Strickland, "You're right. I did need eyeliner or something like
Yeah,
that."
yeah,
So like Buck points out like, "Hey, you should put some eyeliner on." And after
yeah,
this, she does look better. Like I
yeah.
noticed that. I was like, her eyes look weird, and then
Buck
she
knows.
looks
Buck
better.
knows what he's talking about, dude.
Yeah, Buck does. He
Yeah.
judges women all the time. Um, we get our last guest star is here during the judge panel. Eric Estrada playing the Mexican judge. Of course, Peggy has to put that she speaks Spanish on her resume. So this Spanish-speaking judge is going to ask her a question that she absolutely cannot field. But
Nice. He was in
Eric,
Chips.
yep, that's the
I
propaganda.
recognize him. Yeah. Oh
That's the
yeah, that was like
propaganda
a cop
callback.
show from the
Hmm.
70s and 80s.
Yep.
Nice.
He was also a big part of early Adult Swim cartoon C Lab 2021.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love C Lab.
Yep, he was a main character on C Lab, so that's kind of
Wow,
fun.
legend. Yeah, that
But
scene was very funny.
yes, that she can't speak Spanish. She just says
Yeah.
"si
He
amigo."
he asks this very like detailed question. He's like, "So I see that you speak Spanish." And she says, "Sí," and obviously has rehearsed a little line about how she teaches
Mhm.
Spanish, and it isn't delivered well, but like is that like it's the first time they've put up subtitles when Peggy's. I thought that was a really smart choice
Mhm.
because then he actually starts speaking Spanish, and then there's just a pause, and like
She done got it.
he fully didn't catch a single word.
Yeah. I love while the pageant is going on, we get a little scene of Luann over at the Hill House, and Luann is being an absolute psycho about being fired.
Yeah.
She is
She's humming to
she's humming
herself.
she's humming the tune "Favorite Things,"
Yeah.
which was very funny, and she's about to put Peggy's
And like
glasses
very
in the
well.
disposal.
She has
Hmm.
a beautiful voice.
Yeah, shout out to Brittany Murphy. Um, yeah, I loved this about Luann, and Hank is like, "Now, Luann, I just took one of Peggy's shoes out of the disposal, and I'm starting to think it wasn't an accident." um,
Yeah, that was
Luann,
that was excellent. Hank tries to like explain to her what's going on with Peggy.
mhm.
Like
Yeah, this
Hank
is.
is fully tuned in. I think I figured it out.
Mhm.
He is being supportive, but in only the way that he is able to
Yeah.
because he doesn't want to lie to her.
Yep.
That's the big thing.
Yep.
Like he knows that she cannot win
He's in
this.
a tough spot. Yeah,
Yeah, and she should know that she can't win this. And
but she's
yeah,
Peggy,
he's
so she
torn
doesn't.
between like she's going to really embarrass herself or she's going to have to like come to terms with the fact that this isn't something she can do. And I
Yeah.
love that Hank explains that like
Yep.
very clearly and Luann like
Luann
kind of
says, "I guess I
scoffs and
should
she
feel bad for her, but I don't."
that was excellent.
So
And
good.
as they're having this conversation, Hank just kind of like snags the glasses and like puts them behind his back so
Yeah.
that Luann can't. Excellent. So
But
funny.
yeah, it's really tough. It is. I think Hank saw this coming right whenever she tells him. I think whenever he opens his eyes back in that first act, like Hank
Yeah.
sees the end of this coming. I think, but yeah, it's a sticky situation for him certainly, because
And
she's a
yeah.
bit of a glass cannon.
Yeah. And
Um,
at this point the pageant has already started and
mhm.
she went with Buck cuz Luann's like, "Shouldn't you be at the pageant?" And he's like, "I'm going to go later."
Yeah. So here's where it all starts to really spin out of control, and in our climax is right here where Peggy is backstage trying to get ready. She feels that her ass has fallen flat. We do hear Peggy use the word ass in this scene, which I thought was interesting because she really doesn't curse a lot.
Have we
Um,
never heard her say ass
I
before?
don't know if we have or not, but I noted that she did say ass, which I thought felt seemed out of character for her maybe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's flustered. She was ran out of duct tape because she used it all on her feet, which I really loved.
Yeah.
It
How?
was
For, like Chinese foot binding type
yeah.
situation.
But Buck is going to be very supportive here. They're going to be like, "Buck, we need tape," and he's like, "Silver or shiny, industrial grade or pro," and he's like, "Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm already on the hook for $2,000."
He goes with the premium.
Hmm. So Strickland is supportive all the way through the end. He's bet on a losing horse, but He's going to be supportive. Yeah, Peggy essentially just kind of gets flustered as she's trying to make her way to the pageant. She's trying to put on a jacket.
She can't find her half jacket. Half jacket. It's not an ensemble without the half jacket. And Strickland like helps her with the hanger because she can't get it on.
The hanger gets stuck. She's trying to waddle across the street. It's humid. Her ass slips out of the tape.
Yeah. She's I thought this scene was like shot very well. Like we're getting like close scenes of like the other women like it's showing them all in like low cut tops and they're all in heels and we see them like stepping off a curb.
Yeah.
And I was immediately like, is Peggy gonna like roll her ankle? Like what's gonna happen? Like I felt stressed. They did a good job of
Mm-hmm. And then it's kind of all revealed as they're crossing the street that her ass is falling out. That one of them she points at that Peggy doesn't have her shoes on.
Yeah, you see both butt cheeks just kind of like fall.
Yeah,
and then she goes to one of the women that she spoke to earlier, the woman with the engineer husband who.
Helen, do you have any tape?
Yeah, and she's like, "No, I have to go inside. Also, I should probably tell you you're not wearing fucking shoes right now."
Yeah, so Peggy is fully defeated here in the middle of the street.
These women are like kind of mean also. But Peggy's also being like a holier than thou. Like,
yeah,
I mean, also don't blame.
They're competing in the pageant. That's it's tough, but she's in the middle of the street and we hear and see a car approaching and we think she's going to get Regina Georged. And I
wrote that too.
Nice. Hell yeah. Mean Girls joke.
That's awesome.
Hank pulls up in a white truck.
Somehow.
In a white truck. And she's like, Hank. And Hank he's like, well, Peggy, you were going through all this trouble just for the truck. I figured I'd just save you the trouble and get you the truck. So the solution that, Hank comes to, he gets Peggy what she wants out of it, without her having to go through the public defeat. She's already had her own personal defeat, I think.
Yeah.
So Hank kind of comes along and white knights her a little bit.
Yeah, and we learned he didn't actually buy the truck. He painted his.
He painted his old truck. Very sweet line here. Peggy says, she's beautiful, and Hank is like, well, she was before.
And he pulls out her glasses that he saved from Luann and puts them on her face.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's so sweet.
And then they get in the car, they drive off into a nice little sunset and leave the pageant.
Yep. We do get it was a very nice scene there at the end. We do have a post-credit scene.
This was excellent.
This post-credit scene was great. It's Luann exacting some revenge still. She's quote unquote trying to fix Peggy's hair and has turned her into a green troll doll with a.
Well, yeah, and Peggy's like, don't worry, it's all right. We'll get this right eventually. Kind of like creating the implication that this isn't the first time that Luann has tried to like fix her hair and re-dye it.
Yeah.
And Luann is acting all defeated, like, oh, I'm so bad. Like, Peggy's being supportive, and then she steps out of the room and has the most menacing laugh.
Yes.
And then walks away and starts humming. I fucking loved all of that. Just the delivery of that laugh, her humming, all so funny. Luann was so funny in this episode.
Yes. I loved it. Well,
that does it. Should we step into the alley?
Yeah, dude, let's crack them.
I'm gonna buy you a drink.
How are we feeling about this episode? I definitely feel better having walked through it.
Yeah, now that you've pointed out some stuff like the little note about the glasses, I do feel a little better about this one. I still think for me, I think this is a 2.
Whoa. Really?
I could maybe be convinced to talk up to 2.5, but I don't know. I just didn't really like and I know it was like late 90s. You could still kind of like punch on women's appearances, but like watching this one, it felt dated a little bit. Like some of you could still do this episode today and just cut out all the physical appearance stuff. So like, I don't know, a little bit of it felt kind of dated.
I don't know that they were really punching at appearances. I think it was more just like Peggy doesn't look like someone who would enter a beauty pageant, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
No one ever said she was ugly. Not even like the beauty pageant people. It's
The
just she's
guys in
very
the alley,
obviously.
the guys in the alley did without saying it, except for Bill, who said
Well,
that
yeah, but
she
can
was
you?
smoking.
Yeah, they're like kind of good old boys.
Yeah.
I think that not that that's excusable, but I think that that is understandable
Yeah.
for those characters to kind of have that reaction. Um, this is where I'm at. This is
All
where
right.
I'm at with the episode. I was really struggling with the Hank of it all.
Yeah.
But I think really what this episode is trying to put across is they're really driving home the fact that Peggy is very ordinary. She is of average intelligence. She is of average, like, physical looks. She is just a very average human being who is also very abrasive and annoying. But she has Hank. Hank has her. They are both very unexceptional people.
Yes.
And I think that it's beautiful that they have each other, and that is like what this episode is putting across. Like Hank understands Peggy. He understands that she is a very confident woman. He also understands that that should never be challenged in any way. She
Yeah.
should never be expected to speak Spanish in front of everyone. She should never be expected to prove any knowledge. She should never be put on stage and judged on beauty or ability in any way.
Yeah.
So
It's kinda
Hank
coddling
knowing
her.
that, yeah, Hank knowing that and like being supportive in the best way that he can, but then also having that ending of being like, hey, I'll get you what you need, like putting a new paint of a new coat of paint on this. It's still the same truck. Like it was
Yeah.
beautiful before. That's nice.
He was pretty sweet at the end there. I did like Hank
Yeah.
this episode.
I don't think that the episode was like meant to be heartwarming in any way, too. Like that, I kept like trying to find that. I was like, how is any of this like good? It didn't make me feel good, but I think
Okay.
that was the point. Like it was a very real. Like these are just ordinary fucking like unexceptional people. And like Peggy is just putting herself in a situation where she needs to prove herself as exceptional. All of these women are like super successful and have like great lives and are hot. Like Nancy having the line of like, I don't think women like you should
Like if you can't be
like
judged like women like me,
yeah,
you shouldn't be
you're
here.
not in a position to be judged by a woman like me. When Hank is like, or when Peggy's like telling her what kind of woman should win the pageant,
Yeah.
you know? So there's a lot to it. There's a lot to the episode. There's a lot to think about. But then aside from that, if we're just talking about the jokes delivered, Bill washing his car, the interaction between Bill and Hank, where Bill is just like gushing on Peggy and Hank is like, I will fucking kill you. That was
Okay.
great. All of
think-
the Luann shit
I
was
think
like
I'm gonna
peak.
revise. I think I'm gonna revise up to a 3 because I forgot how funny Luann was, and I
Yeah.
had honestly forgotten about men.
Yeah, that.
I had
That
written
bumps it
down
up.
at the top of this page. That men scene is a whole half.
Yeah.
Of my 1 point adjustment there, that men scene is a whole half of it, and Luann is the other half.
The Min scene, the Luann stuff, the scene with Bobby, and the joke with the night terror. That's 3.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. All of the Buck Strickland shit, all of that was funny. Like I laughed out loud multiple times during that. We also had Ladybird barking at Peggy when she came in, like not knowing who she was. That was really funny. We had some really funny lines from Hank. The interaction with Dale where he like runs away and drops the brownies. Later
Classic
on,
Dale.
when Peggy is doing the like interview with the judges panel, she's like, "Did you like the brownies that I made you as a friend?" And Nancy's like, "Yes." So that like leads you to believe that Dale picked up those brownies and Nancy ate one of them off of the ground outside.
Hilarious.
Yeah. There's a lot of funny stuff, and that's why I'm giving this episode a 5.
5.
I think I'm going with
wow.
a 5. Yeah.
5.
The more I think about it, the more I like it as an episode. I don't remember the last time Luann was this funny. And then also just that delivery of that line from Min I'm gonna be thinking about that for like a week. That was really good.
So good.
You look like Ronald McDonald, Bozo, Peggy Hill.
So I want to know which came first, this episode or Miss Congeniality, starring Canada's own Sandra Bullock.
Miss Congeniality came out in 2000, so 2 years later.
Yeah. Okay, so did Miss Congeniality rip off this episode of King of the Hill?
Well, no, because Miss Congeniality was about like an undercover cop, and Sandra Bullock is extremely beautiful. It's just like she wasn't like a pageanty type, but she also is just like...
She's Peggy-esque.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
Still
Do not speak ill of Sandra Bullock.
Look, they're both ones.
She is more than a one.
They're both
Especially
ones.
at this time. We talked about fucking Practical Magic like last episode, dude.
Ooh,
Her and Kidman. Like that movie's not just about Kidman, dude.
Sandy Bullock. I did have, whenever I was watching this episode, I was like, this kind of reminds me of Miss Congeniality a little bit.
Yeah, a little. That movie's great.
It is great.
I'm gonna rewatch that. I'm gonna watch that tonight. I don't have to work tomorrow. I'm watching Miss Congeniality tonight.
She does the thing where she plays the water cups.
Or is that Miss Congeniality too? Because there is a second one.
There is a second one.
And I remember the second one also being good. I don't think there was a third one.
Shout out in the comments which Miss Congeniality you liked better, nephews. One or two.
There is not.
There is 7.
Sandra Bullock said that she did not want to do a third one.
Good call, Sandy.
They'll probably reboot it. Speaking of which, King of the Hill rebooting.
Nice, dude. Excited about that.
But yeah, I'm at a 5 for this one. You're at a 3. Anything else we need to discuss with this here episode?
I mean, not really. I think we pretty much covered all of the bases on this one. I think all that's left to do is crown our king.
God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, God dang it, Bobby, 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 Bobby.
Let's crown the king of this hill. Who was the number one performer, stats-wise, on this episode? Who knocked it out of the park? I know mine. I knew mine on my first watch.
Okay, I think I'm between 2.
Do you want to hear mine to help you decide?
I do.
It's Luann, dude.
Okay, I'm taking Luann.
It's so. This is the best performance we've had from Luann since the Major Babies episode.
She's very unhinged here, and I did love it.
She was so funny in this. The humming and the going to the garbage disposal, because this isn't the first time that Luann has done. So, like, she thought that she had flushed Hank's car keys.
Yep.
In one of the episodes,
she's like this.
Yeah, I love it when that side of her comes out, and the laugh at the end is my favorite. Like some of my favorite vocal delivery from just like a voice acting standpoint overall in this episode. Like the Bill singing, it was almost Bill because of singing taking care of business, but I had to give it to my girl.
She was who I was, one of the two I was between, and I'll go ahead and take my other just for her absolute knockdown of Bozo Peggy Hill.
Yeah.
It's Min.
It's Min. I had Min on mine as well. That was probably a tight close third. But Bobby was also an option because of the night terror joke. That was really funny. I feel like I just can't go with Hank or Peggy.
I don't think I could take Hank or Peggy either. Like Hank did a pretty good job, but he wasn't exceptional.
Yeah.
Peggy just made me feel bad all episode, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
I loved that delivery from Min. God, so
I was kind of expecting you to go with Buck because you're the only person who's chosen Buck in the past.
I thought about Buck, and this would have been a decent case for him actually being a decent guy in half of this episode.
Kind of. I also almost went with Debbie. Just because I'm like,
I considered Bill for a little bit too, just because I think it's so funny how horny Bill is for Peggy all the time.
Yeah, horned up, and then like sees her driving by looking like that, and just breaks his brain.
Yeah.
Had we gotten like another thing from Bill after that scene, like maybe if he would have like shown up at the pageant.
He did show up at the pageant orientation, and they had to ask
anyone who he's just sitting in the back eating a bagel. So funny. And then he just gets up and leaves.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, Bill was definitely up there, but I feel pretty good about mine. And I also think it's great choice from you as well. So that'll do it for the segment. And that'll do it for this episode of the show. Good episode. Fun little app.
It grew on me now that we talked about it. But next up, we got number 7, 9 Pretty Darn Angry Men.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about this episode at all.
I remember this one a little bit. Let
me read the synopsis here.
It's got the tie into 12 Angry Men, the classic film.
All it says is the air date.
Okay, I'll read you the blurb.
Consumer focus group regarding Hank's favorite mower. I don't remember this.
After Thanksgiving dinner, Hank's feelings about his mother translate to an argument with his father over the latest model of a lawnmower.
So we got Cotton back already, huh?
Yeah, I think it's they join a focus group for a mower, and Cotton and Hank like beef in the focus group.
Wow, I'm excited to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad this is the last episode of the podcast.
Oh no, I forgot.
Yeah. A little announcement for you here, nephews. We're never doing an episode of this shit again.
I broke up with Brad on accident.
Or maybe Chris will get a new co-host,
Tune in again next week.
Tune in next week to see if I'm still here.
Our co-host, Brian.
My brother.
Dr. Golden Snatch?
Dr. Golden Snatch. That's it. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a comment. Tell us what your Hill King was. Tell us your thoughts on this episode. Reach out to us on Instagram at Hill Kings Pod Cast. You'll find it. If you type Hill Kings, it'll be there. Send us memes. Yep. We love memes. We'll see you next week. Yeah. Any parting words for the nephews here?
No. Go duck.
All right. Let's hear it. Let's hear the new theme song again. I gotta tweak the levels. Listen to this little drum roll here. Levels. Ooh.
This is nice. This is nice for the outro.
Hill Kings Podcast.
Whoa. Is that a new bark?
It is.